If you're like me, you've gotten sick of listening to the news nowadays. Surrounding yourself for the past 30 days on the coronavirus, there has been deliberations for many, many hours on the news from what's right and what's from wrong. You have state press conferences from Gavin Newsom. You have national conferences from Trump. Monday through Friday is a little bit exhausting. But most people are getting impatient nowadays. But I feel that the most impatient people that are getting impatient are workers and business owners of the non-essential sector. With California's pandemic resilience roadmap, which consists of 4 stages of reopening California, we are going to be seeing stage 2 opening up hopefully fairly soon in the late spring. And all we can do as citizens and as good people is get prepared. So I'm here to shed a little light at the end of the tunnel and hopefully some food for thought for your business, especially in the modular furniture industry, warehousing and logistics, regarding delivery and installation, and your small office environments, and how these tactics would be great to bring customers back to your door. Now, you want to start asking yourself, what kind of supplies do I need for my office, for my business? To get a head start, I would suggest do it now. Start buying small bottles of hand sanitizer for your employee's desk. Start buying hand wash soap so you have a good supply of it for your restrooms, for your break rooms, and for your warehouse washing up areas. I also suggest that you buy alcohol bottles and spray bottles to allow to disinfect surface areas for your employees if they wish to do so in the day of their shift and at the end of their shift. Another thing that I also suggest is that I recommend you buying touchless automatic hand sanitizing dispensers. This will be able to avoid having constant touch on your guys' dispensers and allow people to be able to do that throughout your building. Those are fairly expensive, but if you can do so, those are the most safest to have some. Now, how can you start changing your office environment with these tools? I recommend you sit down and write down all the potential areas that are high use areas in your office building or warehouse. This will make it easier to write up new procedures and administer throughout your office to do so by the following. Send an email in advance to your employees before they return to work and let them know that you're taking procedures regarding stage 2 for the COVID-19 pandemic. Have a staff meeting when the employees arrive to work, or have a meeting in Zoom beforehand and letting them know specifically of the procedures that you guys are going to be doing at your office or warehouse. I also recommend putting up the procedures on paper in specific high traffic areas, allowing employees to be reminded of doing so, of those hand washing tactics, daily cleaning of, let's say, garage chains, if you're going to be cleaning the garage chain because it's constantly used to open up and down the garage. Those are some examples of some areas that you're going to want to constantly be monitoring and is constantly disinfected. Another thing is also modifying the workspace of where your employees work at. I know this is difficult for some offices, but you're going to have to keep in mind the 6-foot distance rule and spacing out your employees and somehow branching off those employees from moving to working so close to each other. One part of focus for stage 2 is creating a safety net for employees' wages, allowing them to work from home if they're sick or taking care of someone else who is sick. So that's something that as a business owner, you're going to want to keep in mind. Now, how can you also keep your on-site technicians who you send to site safe while satisfying your customer contracts? Some non-essential companies that typically service either larger workplaces, like companies that service Google or Apple, are modular furniture companies, companies that deliver products who are painters of the building, who are also cafeteria companies. Those companies are definitely going to need to be continued to service once these things go back to normal. So one of the things that I recommend you do is have drivers disinfect their truck cabin when they're coming in and out of their trucks, and disinfect the keys when returning them. Use shoe booties when entering the office building, and also use face masks and latex gloves. Disinfect products when they're completely installed, and also routinely clean your moving equipment and sanitize your tools. Also, another thing that I recommend is zoning off particular areas when you're working in those office areas, zoning them out. That way you don't allow your customers to come interrupt any construction zone. Typically, that's not really done for a lot of small projects, but you're probably going to want to do that for your small projects as well. Now, why are all these things very important? These are all important because they're all marketable concepts to sell to your customer. Letting your customer know through social media, through word of mouth, through your website, letting them know how you're taking measures to protect your employees and your customers' well-being. This will not only satisfy the customer, but it will make employees feel extremely safe to come back to work and work for you. That is what gives value to your employee to work harder, and that is what brings customers coming back. Innovation during hard times. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. So nervous.
Oh, William, I don't think you're a new Toastmaster. I really don't.